Welcome back, Nitwits. Welcome back to Witty Knitter World, my little Nitwits. Oh, that sounds so much better. It's me again, Sammy Cat, Witty Knitter 504, coming to you live and direct from New Orleans, Louisiana, with more presents. So this, um, you can't properly see it, but this is this cool shelf thing that my one of my Nitwit housemates gave me. Fabulous. And I actually wanted to show you guys something. I want to do a little product comparison and review. Um, so I actually have two of these items. So hence the product review and comparison. They're both yarn ball winders. Um, this one right here is by Craft Destiny. Ooh, maybe this is too much with this light. I don't know. Maybe I should turn the light down. And I don't really know that this is the right thing to be using to be. Yeah, okay, I'll put it on this thing. I just have to kind of bring this thing down a little bit. So there are any number of these kind of ball winders on the market. This particular one was sent to me by West Coast Nitwit. I love you, girl. And so how it works is you take that little piece, you take that little wing nut thing, and you just bring it back up to your. Can you see this? I should bring this over here. And you just kind of use your wing nut to kind of screw this in place. You want it to be secure, okay? Like, aka not like that. So maybe you should hold it like that. Maybe I should hold it like this. I should be pronouns, girl, pronouns. Yeah, I know this is taking a minute, huh? Okay. And this particular brand, like I say, don't get too over enthusiastic screwing this thing on, because this plastic piece right here will kind of, if you get too over enthusiastic with it, it will definitely kind of like push itself off. Ooh, yeah, this may actually be better on this thing because of how solid these pieces are. Like this piece is not exactly like that. Well, we're gonna give it a try and see how it works on this particular shelf. So this box looks like this. There's the camera. Craft Destiny. Yeah, let me turn this brightness down on this light a little bit. Let me see. Okay, Craft Destiny. Okay, totally. Okay, yeah, there you go. Craft Destiny. Ooh, this looks like spooky time up in here. So that's this one. This other one that I actually purchased for myself at my LCS, my local craft store, aka Michael's. Yeah. You gotta love a ring light. This is a yarn winder, but it's an inline model, and I'll show you the difference between the two. I mean, like you can probably see it already. So come along. Let's get in this fucking thing. Okay, so here we are. So this is made a little bit differently to this one. The first thing that you will notice is that the clamp is not attached to it, so you have to manually attach this clamp thing. This little, I guess it's a C clamp. I think this is what this is called. Yes, I think this is called a C clamp. I don't know. Can you see that? See the C? It's a C. A bouncy C. Somebody will understand that, and please leave me a comment about it. This is an old joke. Okay, so that goes into this plastic piece here. Yeah, I'm totally like showing myself. So there's a hole back here. You just kind of place this in here like this. And of course I'm gonna have to like unwind this screw a little bit for this to work. And so let me see. Yeah, you really don't have to do it like that. Like you can totally do it this way. I don't know why I'm trying to make things be so difficult. Make my life be so difficult like this. Oh, because that's what I do best. Make my life difficult. sitting around here in the dark with this ring light blaming in my face. I love this. Okay. So here we go. Yeah, Sam, you can totally do it like this. But I guess you really can't see what I'm doing now. Okay, yeah, so yeah, that's totally jicky. So we're gonna place this one on here now. And pray that it will stay clamped. And of course, this is actually coming in a little bit. This might actually be better as far as clamping goes than the other one. But I do not know yet. I guess we will find out. This is all new to me, folks. Well, actually, when I've used this inline clamp, when I've used this inline winder before, I mean, I remember it being a little bit more problematic. But right now, like the way that it feels more sturdy than the other one did. Just because of how the C clamp kind of works. I'm going to try to. I'm going to try. I love this shelf thing. Yeah. So let me try this like this. See if this works better this way. And that way you guys can kind of see that. I'm not going to. Obviously, I'm only one hoe, so I can't be on both sides of this thing at once. So I'm gonna try. I'm not gonna try to do on both sides at once. I'm just gonna try to demonstrate this for you guys the best way that I can. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. How often do you get to say that? I get to say it more often than you would think. A lot more often. So yeah, see the problem with this is that as I'm like making this more tight, the plastic is wanting to come, like the clamp is wanting, it's like this thing is wanting to come right off of here. So that totally sucks. But maybe this is not actually, again, this is not maybe the best thing for me to be using this with. I'm going to try this one more time. And if this is still failing me, I'm just going to, I hate to have to move this thing because it's not on wheels and there's all this stuff on it. So I'm going to have to like kind of mess with it a little bit, like probably more than I really want to be messing with it. Okay. Stable. Okay. I'm just saying stable is kind of like a magic word, trying to hope that that's gonna make it be stable. I wonder if that would have worked with me. I wonder if somebody would have said that, about me a bunch of times before it worked, because P.S. I'm not. And so the yarn, here's the yarn. So I got this yarn because one of my amazing nitwits ordered a hat for me, and I'm going to use one of these looms to make it. And because I'm using I'm using impeccable yarn. Yeah, impeccable. See, I don't know if this is the thing with the camera, if this is the thing with the light. So it's impeccable yarn by Loops and Threads, who also gave us this. I say gave, who made the other ball winder. But so since I'm going to have to be because of how thin, I mean it's a medium gauge yarn. It's a 4. It's a medium gauge yarn, and in order to use, of course, I can't find the fucking loom right now. In order to use one of these plastic looms, you have to double your yarn in order because the gauge is quite big. So I guess I could like use the outside and then pull the inside center pull, but I'm not going to do all that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wind about half of this ball of yarn into a yarn cake, which is what this will produce, and you can see the results, and we'll see like we'll do a little compare and contrast. So there's this little guide right here, so you want to kind of get it through there, and then there's these two, you can't really see from, you can't see from where you're at. These two little notches right here at the top of your ball winder. And so now you just want to, and now you just want to kind of start turning it a bit. Ooh. Okay. So I'm just using, even though this guide thing is here, I'm definitely using. I wonder if there's brakes on this shelf that I have. I think it does have brakes, but I can't fool with all that right now. Okay, yeah. So not great. So not great. So the clamp is not doing it on this thing. The clamp is totally being overwhelmed by the motion of the balls of the winder, which totally sucks. But yeah, so now I'm going to grab another ball of yarn, and I'm going to try the other winder. We're going to see how this goes. So this is purple. The other one was a red. This is actually called, the colorway is amethyst. Is this purple kind of color, and the red color was called cherry, or in French, cerise. And if you're a French speaker, I hope you enjoy the little cerise, that little R, little French R. I spent years and hundreds of thousands of dollars to get that R. So now this is going to be slightly different. Like this piece right here has to move. So you kind of, is this moving? Is mobile enough? Like, because there's a way to, and I'm really not wanting to like have to take this apart right now. But there's definitely a way to. Okay, so now the gauge is the guide little thing is right here. Yeah, and this is, let me just be sure that it's going to move. So since this piece doesn't move, because this piece is more or less static besides the turning. This piece has to move to guide the yarn onto the spindle for it to give you that cape. So let's see if that works. Okay, so far so good. So far it's not looking like it's going to come screaming off this shelf. Okay. Good, stop. Okay, so loops and threads, cake winder so far for the win, just for the sheer factor of how the clamp works. Wowzers. This looks great. And it kind of looks blacker than what it actually is in real life. Like it's a much more purpley color in here. Yeah, we might have to adjust the light somewhat anyway. And the thing about this is, like, what you're not seeing, like what's going on, like not really behind the scenes, but kind of under the desk, is that this is being like pulled all over the place. So you would really kind of want to have like some kind of bag or something for that to be in, to where it can kind of move around a bit without going all over your floor or picking up all sorts of lint and things. But yeah, so this is coming out great. This looks terrific. I'm super happy with it. It seems like it's shimmying a little bit. Like, I don't know if that's me moving this piece or what's going on here. Yeah, there's something else I'm supposed to be doing. There's some other thing that I'm supposed to like clamp on down here, but all this stuff is new to me. I don't know nothing. I'll mess with all this later. So yeah, this looks great. I'm gonna cut this right now. And I'm going to take this ball of yarn, or this cake, because it's more probably called a yarn cake. I take this off and show you what it's like. Okay, so now it's like all in this little cake. And you can either do a center pull, or you can come from the outside very easily. I always liked, I don't know why people like center pull yarn balls. That drives me insane. Unless it's coming off one of these cakes that I personally make. Because I always take the working yarn from the outside of the ball, just because it's easier to me. So I'm going to give the Loops and Threads ball winder definitely 2 thumbs up, and we may come up with something more creative than that later on. Somebody else is already doing, I think it's Little John Crochet, Little John Yarns. Definitely go like and subscribe her. Also like and subscribe here. Go check her out. She's got some great product reviews. But she uses like balls of yarn. Like she would probably give this like 5 balls of yarn. I'm gonna give this like 5 stars. Let's say 5 sassy stars. 5 sassy stars? Yes. Maybe 5 stitches. I don't know. We'll figure that out too. Yeah. The other one. Now I have to say, once this thing is working, like when it actually works, when it's clamped to something. Again, see how this piece is solidly one thing. It works, but it does make the whole fucking thing kind of move. And even then, you kind of have to keep an eye on this plastic piece, on this plastic clamp right here. So I'm gonna give this one. I'm gonna give this one 3 out of 5 stars. Because it has to do with how the spindle is set up, and I'll tell you why. Like I can actually still spin this like this, right? So let's just pretend it's clamped down properly. So yeah, having this effed up clamp is already messing up your rating, Miss Craft Destiny. However, because you're not limited by this amount of space right here, like you see how my thumb is right here, like your ball of yarn can only get so big on this spindle. It can really only get so big here because of where this guide is too. And I mean, I don't know. I can't get a good visual reference for it. Maybe it's the same distance, but it feels to me a little bit more like I have more. What's the word I'm looking for? Like I just have kind of. I can kind of wind a bigger wind a bigger ball, wind a bigger cake. With this. Also, in the past, what I've noticed is that sometimes with this one, the yarn will tend to want to like get caught up in here. But at the same time, if you're not careful, because you have to keep your eyes on it, right? Like you can't just like la la la, I'm watching TV, winding my yarn, blah blah blah. Like you have to pay attention to what you're doing. And what will happen is that your yarn can kind of get caught up in here, and it's a pain. It's a pain, but it's an easily fixable problem. Like it's not the end of the world, and it's not like, oh my gosh, I'll never use this thing again. Like I've been using these things for. Gosh, I'm trying to remember when did my amazing Knitwit send me this one, because they came in like, I don't know exactly how it went down. She sent me one and it didn't have the spindle, which was weird, but actually not the first time that's happened to me. And then I was so hyped about like winding my yarn, I went ahead and I bought this, but then this one came. So now I have an embarrassment of riches and a double product review. So there you go. So something I'm seeing happening is that like as I'm doing this, like this little piece of yarn is kind of loose right here. Can you see that? And if you don't kind of be careful with that and make sure, and this is totally to do with me like not having this on a stable surface, right? With me moving it around with my hand, I think. Girl. Because I rarely see that happen when this is like attached to something. Yeah, so this is not a great clamp for like a tabletop, because a lot of times that will be kind of slightly gradient, it would have a slight curve to it. This also is not great for like my coffee table has the edges have kind of this slight curve to them. Very troublesome. Okay, so this is queen. And I mean, I think I think they're about the same. I really wish I had somebody else here that we could like do a little race. I guess maybe if they would both be clamped properly, I could just raise. Yeah, well, I can't do all that. So I'm gonna cut this little bit of yarn, and take this off of here. And as you can see, it's pretty much the same finished product. I mean, you can tell. I don't know how clearly you can see. The yarn has distributed itself beautifully across the cake. It's got a nice center area. Kind of problematic here with this little bit kind of coming out, but you can kind of stick it up in here. This is how we end up with what's called yarn barf. Yarn barf is when you pull your center, is when you go to pull from the center of your ball, and you're pulling it, you're working with it, and all of a sudden, blah, like all this stuff comes out of it. It is terrible. But yeah, so I would totally give this 2 stars. I'm going to give this baby 3 stars. I'm going to give this baby 5 stars. No, I'm going to give this 4 stars. I don't know. 4 stars for this. 3 stars for this bad clamp. The clamp is terrible. But definitely 4 stars for this, again, because you can't quite get as big of a skein as you possibly could. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in to Witty Knit World. And I'll see you in the funny pages.